coming to you live from Steve's studio in the heart of Godzilla's bedroom. It is Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained. I'm your host, your DM, Jared, and today I'm joined by Steve.
Yep.
And Fabio.
Yow.
Today we're going to be doing another segment of Power Up.
Power up.
Power up.
On this episode, we are going to be focused on movement. So, Fabio, tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, just like my dream character, right? And date, they gotta be fast, real quick, and ready for action. Right? So the character I made is it's a human monk named Sonic. Right? So the idea that I had behind Sonic is I wanted a character that was all about running into a situation, running out of a situation. You know, he's super fast. You know, the way he thinks is fast, the way he processes things is fast, the way that he talks is fast, right? When it comes down to actually like doing anything intelligent, he's not the person that you look for, and he's not perceptive at all, right? But when it comes to, you know, doing something, talking, getting in there, getting out, having the conversation with the fast talk, that type of thing, that's Sonic, right? And I built him up to encompass all of those aspects of just being fast.
Awesome. And Steve, tell us a little bit about your dream character.
My character his name is Shoves McGee, because all this entire plan in life is to just push people around in an actual literal sense. So he just takes almost every action he can take gives him ability to push or shove or grab other characters.
Oh, that's interesting. So we're gonna start at awesome level 1. So at level 1, Fabio, I'm gonna come over to you and ask you, tell us a bit about your thought process with your level 1. So I see that you went gladiator and at monk, and you went human. So why did you choose human?
So I chose human because I enjoy having that extra feat option, and also having just a little bit more choice. So like for example, for the heritage, I took versatile heritage, right, which gives me an extra feat. And if I'm going to go fast, you know, what self-respecting human isn't going to take versatile heritage and put fleet in there, you know? Or at least with one of the feats that you get, you're going to take, you know, fleet. It just, more speed. It just, all right, I can move 5 feet faster. Cool. That's exactly what I want to do. Right? After that, what I did was I took the class feat Key Rush.
Yeah.
Right, which basically just makes it so, hey, you want to go faster right now, right? It just gives me that option to just bounce around, just move a little bit quicker, increase my movement, and do what I need to do. You know, speed is king.
Yep,
After that, what I did was the ancestry feat. I took general training, right? And I took quick jump, not just because it had the words quick in it, right? Which was totally part of the reason why I picked it, but not the main reason. It's one of the cool things I love about Pathfinder is that we have that 3 action economy, which you've heard me say on multiple podcasts whenever I talk about anything that has to do specifically with this version of the game, right? But one of the things when it comes to like running and jumping, they kind of make it like 2 different parts. You have to run and jump, right? And that's 2 different actions. By taking the quick jump action, I was like, you know what? Nah, it's 1. So, you know, like, or at least add something I don't really have to worry about. Like, basically it says like you can high jump, long jump as a single action instead of 2 actions, right? And I don't have to, it says if you do not perform the initial stride. You're just like, all right, I need to just jump over there. I'm going to jump over there, right? I need to, you know, get above, you know, get really high, jump really high. You just jump really high. I don't have to worry about the run 10 steps and then just jump.
So it's all part of like one action. So you would move, and in one of your strides, you would be able to just do that jump, right?
Exactly. So it's like, all right, and because my dude's fast, it adds into his like whole max movement thing. I'm like, okay, how far is that guy to me? You're just like, well, there's a ravine in the way. There's a bunch of down trees. There's a shit ton of terrain that's there's spikes and sharks and mouse traps just cause, right? All in like a row right in front of me. But I can just jump it. It's like, all right, I don't want to walk through any of that because that's gonna take precious steps
Forever. Yeah.
Exactly. Those are steps that Sonic doesn't want to have to take. So Sonic jumps immediately, right? He gets there by any means possible, whether it's hopping over there, sprinting over there, running off shit, right? But for level 1, getting the most bit out of movement, any way to reduce the action economy down so I'm not, wasting actions on things.
Yeah.
Right?
So just if I may interject,
Shoot.
just so that everyone knows, normally for like a long jump, right? You have to take, it's 2 actions on top of using a stride. So that's basically your whole turn. You're moving and then you're just doing this massive jump. That's 3 actions. What quick jump, the general feat literally just says, it says you can high jump and long jump as a single action instead of 2, and you don't have to do the initial stride.
Just for clarification, the high jump includes the stride. That's why it's 2 actions.
Yeah.
So with quick stride, you don't take the stride; you just jump.
Yep. Yes, but I would assume
it wouldn't be 3 actions; it would be 2 if you were normally doing it.
What about if you don't stride at least 10 feet?
You fail.
You fail instantly.
So, i.e., if I want to take this to start of my turn, I have 3 actions. I want a high jump or a long jump over to my target. I had the option of moving up to my speed and then make my athletics check to see if I succeed in the jump to make the rest of the distance. If I just stand still and just jump, I immediately fail. I just fall over.
Yeah. Quick jump gets rid of that.
Yeah, quick jump gets rid of that, but you also don't take the stride when you quick jump. So you literally stand still and jump.
You just do it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I feel like jumping 35, 60, 70, 80 feet. Yeah, I can do that. Wait, what? Yep, I can just do that.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
See y'all later. Just hop. I'm out,
Yeah.
Just going. All right. But that's my level 1. After that, you get your normal stuff, flurry of blows, powerful fists. Right. And what I did for my abilities, I put a lot of points in strength. Because strength goes into athletics, and that goes for jumping.
Yep.
Right. I put a couple points in dex. I put at least 1 point in con, and a couple points in charisma, just so if I do have to talk to somebody, I'm not staring at them blankly. He has something to say, right? And it'll just be fast.
Cool. All right. So bouncing over to Steve, you went fighter, and if I have the correct updated, fighter, laborer.
Yeah, I went laborer.
And you also went human?
Yeah, just because the feat distribution, I needed the extra feet.
Yeah.
So guess where you get the extra feet from? Surprise, surprise, it's human.
Yeah.
The most versatile human.
Yeah. So take us through your level 1 concept.
So, went with high strength, went with medium constitution and charisma. The reason I took high charisma is I'm going to focus on intimidation, and there is a feat later on that is after level 5 that
requires
makes the enemy movement possible.
Okay.
But that's why I was pumping charisma. But okay. I actually went with nothing in dex and nothing in wisdom, so they're just flat.
Really?
10. Yeah. I figured that this character is just going to be in. Yeah, well, I just figured this character is just going to be in a tin can, and I was going to have the biggest, baddest, heaviest armor. So I have heavy armor proficiency for fighter. Might as well use it. I went very similar. In the beginning, Fabio and I went the same direction. Versatile heritage and national ambition. My versatile heritage actually went into Titan Wrestler, which lets me I can attempt to disarm, grapple, shove, or trip people up to 2 size categories bigger than I am.
Interesting.
So I can start
you
grabbing
could like suplex a giant.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always fun. And then I also went with reactive shield, which lets me raise my shield even though I didn't take the action that turn. So that lets me take the raise shield action reaction.
So interesting. So I feel like if I was playing this character, I would take my 3 actions as per normal, pushing people around, doing whatever, and then my reaction would be to do my shield raise when I'm smashed in the face by whatever. So in my head, this is just
you immediately
canon.
take the raise shield action and gain the benefits of your AC. Yeah, basically lets you circumvent having to take an action during your turn.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you're basically allowing yourself to keep those 3 actions free. Similar, again, following the same vein Fabio did. You guys are like maximizing action economy to the highest possible degree at this point. So in my head, so this is what's funny. So Fabio is wearing blue like Sonic, and Steve is wearing gray like a metal man. So I don't know if you guys prepped this beforehand.
This is just fresh laundry.
But in headcanon, I see Shoves McGee over here standing there like with his shield up, and then Sonic just like kind of running off of his shield and like flying over enemies.
I gotta go fast. He's just like, all right, go. Bow, let's go.
I would allow that.
Normally we don't talk about gear, but just for the sake of it, kind of melds along with it, with the character concept. I'm wielding a mace, which has the shove trait.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm going all in with pushing people around and shove people around. Eventually,
the business.
Eventually, we're gonna get the crit specialization, so we're gonna be able to push people farther. And then also, just in case I want to hit you with my shield, I have a spike.
Okay, so I was looking at your. So this is just me. I was looking at your character, and I noticed that you didn't take the tower shield. What was the choice there for not taking the tower shield as an option?
I think the tower shield gives you. Hold on, let me look up the tower shield. I think there was a reason I didn't. I think I had a lot of penalties because it's so big.
Oh, so it like hampers movement and shit like that.
Yeah.
I know it lets you plant it into the ground or some shit like that to give you like cover.
Yeah, I know you can use it to take cover. It's an action. You have to like burn an action to take cover behind it.
Do we have the technology?
Just because, tower shields in my head, right? Like, so you have your Roman legion,
your legion.
Your legionnaire. You have the big old tower shield. So it gives you a -5 to your speed penalty.
Well, that might have been the reason why, because I want to keep pace with the people that I'm shoving around.
Yeah, exactly. And then additionally, you could give yourself that you could take cover using your shield, but it has to be raised. So that wouldn't really work with the concept you're working with here, where you can do your 3 actions and then as a reaction raise your shield. Over here you have to raise shield and then take cover, which burns actions, and that's kind of not the point.
Oh yeah, so I can get a +2 AC, or I could get a +4 AC, but that would require taking cover with the shield.
Yeah.
So I'd have to take the raise action, raise shield
and
action, then take cover. Yeah. That's probably why I took it. Plus, I also think the main reason was the -5 feet of movement is probably what did it.
Yeah, and especially with having to keep up with Sonic over here.
Yeah, it didn't give me any more unless I'm taking those 2 actions. It didn't give me any more AC, and it didn't give me any more hit points or break threshold. So that's probably why I went without
taking the tower shield. Yeah, I could see that. It wouldn't make sense to keep the tower shield, especially if you guys are trying to work the action economy to its fullest. So that's kind of what you're looking at for your first level. So you have a monk and a fighter, both human, doing human things, clearly being as versatile as possible. So now you've been playing your character for quite some time, and you've reached level 5. So if you listen, yeah, right. So if you listen to our previous podcast, we kind of went over level by level by level. We got some feedback on that, and people were like, just do the main levels. So we decided to just jump a few levels in between. So you've been playing your character, and everyone's hit level 5. Congratulations, you're level 5. And so what does that class look like now? Give me some important feats or abilities you've taken and why you've taken those. So remember, this is to clue in the people who are listening or wanting to kind of gauge how they would build characters. So already you have a monk with the key rush who clearly is just burning that key point to just go. And then you have this fighter who's pushing and grabbing people. You know, he's doing that thing like, you know, the big dragons in front of him like roaring, and he just reaches up with like that one gauntlet hand and grabs the dragon and like throws it because he has Titan grappler and he could just do it. And then like what do you see your role within the team at level 5? So level 5 is a big level. So we'll start with Fabio. So okay. Mr. Streets.
Ha ha ha. So one of the things that I just want to at least go to, like what I did stat wise. Mm-hmm. So I put another point in strength. I put, you know, to bring it up to at least 19, getting closer and closer to that 20. That's sweet +5. Right. I put an extra point in dex, so I have, you know, +3 modifier. I put an extra point in con because with all that running, you know, getting in and out, there's bound to be a point in time where something, you know, trips, hits, grabs, punches, whatever him. I want to make sure he has the HP to, you know, deal with that. Yeah, and I put an additional point in charisma. Haven't touched int, haven't touched wisdom at all. All right.
You know what's funny is, if I may interject, the monk is great with this concept because at level 1 they start with expert in fortitude, reflex, and will saves. So if you're building a character like this and you're not bumping, you know, your con and your wisdom, they make up for it naturally. So that it's a great concept to do this like that.
I feel like deep down Paizo kind of knew. They're just like, listen, this dude's not going to be smart, but he's going to be all about fucking things up.
Exactly.
So, or he's not going to be as wise, so we got to give him like those bonuses here and there. Mm-hmm. We're just like, all right, fine, fair enough. Just to, you know, super quick go through it. I took a rogue dedication for a couple of reasons. One, because later down the line they do give you the option to make certain things that were trained expert and something expert a little bit higher. So it just gives you a little bit like that extra bit of skill bump, because monks really don't get skills, don't really get skill increases. I think they get like only a couple. So it's like, I think between 1 and 3, 1 and 5, you get only 2 skill increases. You know, so I want to make sure like he had a couple other things. So I also want to make sure I get my athletics to expert. You know, I want to make sure that, and also get my acrobatics to expert, since I'll be doing, you know, running on things maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, doing flips and shit.
Exactly, to make sure that I now have like that benefit. The one thing that I did take that I think was a major note was at level 4, I took dancing leaf stance.
Ooh, okay.
So what the dancing leaf is, it goes, you're light as a leaf, whirling in the breeze. When you leap or succeed at a high jump or a long jump, increase the distance you jump by 5 feet. When calculating the damage you take from falling, don't count any distance fallen while you're adjacent to a wall. So the idea is, you know, if I have to leap, you know, get over things, I can just jump a little bit farther. I can get there a little bit quicker. You know, I'm in there faster. And with incredible movement that you get at 3rd level from just being a monk, which is an extra +10 feet of status bonus to your speed whenever you're not wearing armor, which I'm not. Right? That's dope. And then the bonus increases to 5 every 4 levels and beyond that. So the idea is run, jump, run, jump, run, jump, and just keep going. And at level 5, I took natural ambition, and I took the crane stance.
To get that bonus when you go into that stance. Okay. Exactly.
So while in crane stance, reduce the DC for high jump and long jump by 5. So it just makes it easier for me to get places and get far. When you leap, you can move an additional plus 5 feet horizontal or 2 feet vertically. Right? More movement. If it says I'm going somewhere farther, faster, easier, I'm gonna do it. And plus, green stance doesn't hurt by giving you like a +1 to AC. It's like if you're looking for that speed, if you're looking for that, I'm gonna be able to get in, get out, move type of thing. Crane stance is your friend because it does give you an AC bonus and it gives you some speed. I think those are like just the major points from 1 to 5 that I was really focusing on. Giving more speed, also make it so like, all right, make sure my person, Sonic can survive a hit or two, and bump his AC just a little bit more when he is actually in the fray.
So the crane stance also adds to your jumping ability, correct? When you're in that stance?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I was overwhelmed by the insanity that is happening at this point. Yeah, you reduce the DC. Sorry, in crane stance, you naturally reduce the DC for high jump and long jump by 5. And when you leap, you can move an additional 5 feet horizontally and 2 feet vertically. So this dude's already just jumping all over the goddamn place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's heavily ridiculous. And the moment you were like, oh, I also took the dancing leaf.
It's like it's a problem. So like at level 5, my base speed is 40.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So it's like all right, I can go and I can go high, and then I can go there. And if I'm by a wall, I don't have to worry about taking fall damage. I did take catfall from when I the rogue dedication.
Oh, that's right. They do give you a free feat.
It gives you like a free skill feat. So I took that like, all right, let's in case I do jump, and then your DM's like, all right, you fall 55 feet. I'm like, ooh, that's a problem. I'm gonna take a shit ton of damage. Nuh-uh!
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan.
So, your character reminds me of a statement by a character dear to my heart, Wash from Firefly. When he in the movie he goes, "I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar." So that's now in my head as Sonic just pirouettes through the sky.
He's
I
good.
feel like Sonic would jump, and like you would see like all the Balrogs and like the demons you're fighting. Sonic's like in the air, just giving everyone the middle finger as he goes like 120 feet over them.
Hey, you gotta go, and you gotta go fast.
So I have to ask a question. This just popped up on Facebook, and people were saying, it's hard being a martial character when your DM throws flying stuff at you, because martial characters, you got bows and you got arrows, right, and javelins and hammers, right. But most of the time it's bows and arrows, slings. I feel like your character will just jump up, flurry of blows, and then land. And the DM's just going to sit there and be like, did the monk just flurry a blow? The harpy 60 feet in the air?
Yeah. Like, how? I rolled it. Look.
I did it. It's right here. Yep.
This is what I got. So, like, his whole point is it's getting in the mix. So, how does Sonic help the party? Sonic's going to be the person like, oh, you know how you always have, like, that one person like, oh, they try to run? You're not outrunning Sonic. Oh, they try to fly away? You're not outrunning Sonic. So he's going to be the person that, gets them down. Because he also has high athletics, it makes him really good for certain maneuvers, like throwing people, tripping people, pushing them back, that type of thing. Putting them in grapples if he needs to. Or doing my favorite move, which is grapple you, jump straight up into the sky as high as I can, and let you go. I'll be fine.
That works,
you won't. It does. See, I figured it out.
So
the way they used to do it, or at least from what I understand, Steve, you can totally correct me wherever I'm wrong, because this is the whole point of this, right? From my understanding, I know that if I were to jump and I were to, like, if I had like sneak attack or some other crazy shit, right? Like, if I'm jumping and I'm throwing somebody for whatever reason, the game just says nuh-uh. But because I know if it's within your jumping movement, if I were to like to fall down like 35 feet because I can jump 35 feet, I'm fine, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't say anything about if I'm carrying someone.
But you can't move once you grapple somebody. Well, you can, but the grapple ends.
So if the grapple ends, if I jump with them, so if I
So as
pick
more the
them
moment you jump by yourself because you're
So
moving
you're-
away from them.
so why can't you pick them up? So if I'm
That-
grappling somebody and I'm picking them up and I'm like, you know what? I'm jumping with them in my hands. Right?
That would
No, I
that would have to be something more than grappling. That would have to be maybe have to restrain them. I'm not sure if restraining has the same limitation, but I know that the grapple condition says your opponent. Yeah, so say you succeed, right? I make a grapple attempt, I succeed. Your opponent is grabbed until the end of your next turn, unless you move or your opponent escapes. So the moment you move, you're letting go of them and jumping. So unless, like I said, there is levels to grapple. There's like grapple, restrained, and there are other things that are in the grapple kind of family. So restrained may not have that limitation, but I know that, or like maybe pinned or something. But at the moment, it's like regular, like I take one action, grab you, second action, I leap 400 feet in the air, you're up by yourself at that point.
Gotcha. So you're saying in a situation like that, it would have to be, all right, I'm gonna grab you, restrain you.
I'd have to look at what restrain, the wordage on restrain, but yeah, you'd have to do something more than just grab.
Gotcha. Well, either way, if I gotta grab them and pin them or restrain them, it's gonna be a lot easier with a higher,
Of
athletics, especially being expert. But we will look at that to double check whether my picking people up and throwing them from really high is feasible.
So you can. So basically, what happens is this is the way I'm reading it. You go to grab someone. You You have to critically succeed your grapple, right? When you critically succeed your grapple, they gain the restrained condition, right? So when they're restrained, you're flat-footed and immobilized, and you can't use any actions with attack or manipulate except to escape or force open your bonds. Restrained overrides grabbed, but grab says the moment you move, you lose the grabbed condition.
The
So
restrain says the same thing. At least under the grapple action, it says the same thing for restrained. Your opponent is restrained until the end of your next turn, unless you move or your opponent escapes.
what? So how? So I'm going to say this. I would have to say, if you were playing and everyone's playing by the rule, a dragon couldn't grab up a tiefling like a gnome.
Now, monster rules are different, so that's the takeaways. Monster, the same, like if a monster has a grab and a player has a grab, they don't work the same way. So that, like, a monster may be able to do it, and you may be able to, as a GM, to say, well, okay, well, you're like the time that when I pulled a friendly character back from danger, you can say, okay, the fact the character is willing, letting you do this, you kind of can do it. But with monster, the monster's gonna end up fighting you. And I'm not saying there's just no way of doing it. I'm not saying there's no way of doing it, but let me check in the book.
We're gonna look at the hand.
No. So sorry. No. I'm looking at like the adult brass dragon, right? I just chose an adult brass dragon. It's whatever. So normally with monsters, they'll have the grabbed condition when something is attacked, right? So say like claw, blah 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 plus grab, or
it's like auto grab as soon as it like hits you with that claw.
yeah. So they don't have that, right? So I'm looking at this. They don't have it. Let's look at something even big. So you could go on to giant. Go on to giant. See what giant says. Let's pick cloud giant, right? It's a fairly large creature. You got this cloud giant running around. Melee. They're just hitting you. So you can even go to like rune giant, which is a CR 16. Fist, bludgeoning. They have like spells and stuff, but like they don't have the grabbed condition. Again, I think that would fall under the grabbed effect.
Yeah, if they don't have the grab action like built into their attack, then they probably could take general actions just like any other character can take general actions. Then it would then lean on the rule that exists.
Yeah. So then again, I mean, I would say this as a DM,
guidelines. So.
They guidelines, right? They guidelines. So as a DM, I understand what Fabio's trying to do, and I personally would say like it would matter depend on his role. So if he succeeded on a grab check on a grapple, I'd be like, no, you can't because you only succeeded. But you got that like nat 20 plus like whatever your bonuses are at level 5. So like that's like a 30 something, right? I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just be like, all right, fine, you got him. You got him up in the chokehold, and you jumping away with him. Like especially like half the game is about having fun with your players, and the other half is, abdicating rules that make logical sense. A giant brass dragon, in my head, could fucking pick up a gnome, but apparently, according if you're playing like direct rules, they can't. Doesn't matter. There's a little gnome just running around the field. Dragon comes down, grabs him.
They could bite him and swallow him whole, probably, but the rules
Dude,
they couldn't fly away with him.
It's too heavy. It's fucking up my action economy. I pick him up, I drop. It's like the claw game at the arcade.
Yeah, that's it. Just slip.
Like,
No. Yep.
So this reminds me of I can't remember what video I watched. It was a while ago. Mm-hmm. That a player they got teleported into the plane of water, and they kind of knew they were going there. Mm-hmm. And the player is like, well, can I control water? They were fighting like a leviathan or something really, really huge. He's like, well, can I use the spell that lets them like manipulate water and just basically create a giant void? So right where within the spell limits, basically made 100-foot drop for this creature then to fall.
Yeah.
And then technically, and then what would happen is then the spell ends, so all that water then just rushes in, which then will cause more damage. And the GM's like, well, damn. And like they gave like a little diagram, and they did the little work to make this explanation. Yeah. And they said, okay, that explanation is really cool. And knowing the fact that your players aren't going to abuse something, sometimes the rule of cool will be like, all right, that's awesome. Yeah. We're going to make this happen. But if it's also something that's game breaking, that's when you have to kind of make that decision.
Yeah, but also at like level 5, I would, and like here's the thing, right? Here's the caveat. Conversely to what Steve's doing, Steve took Titan Wrestler, right? So Steve can grab one size larger than him. 2. Mm-hmm. 2 sizes larger than him. But Fabio's character did not, so he can only grab up to his size or smaller, right? Mm-hmm. So he's grabbing humans and stuff like that.
I'm not throwing up centaurs in the air.
Yeah, he's not throwing up anything larger than him. So an ogre comes by, he's not fucking like doing that. So it's again, if like a gnome is acting a fool and Fabio's like, yo, I'm going to suplex the shit out of that gnome, I'd be like, all right, make that roll. And he makes it and he gets that critical. I would say the threshold for me personally as a DM would be the critical success. And I'd be like, all right, fine, you got that critical success. And he's like, I'm just going to jump with the fucking gnome. That gnome is going to come down hard. I'd be like, all right. And then, like, that's what his character's built about. So it would be kind of detrimental for me as a DM to stop my player from doing what he built an entire character on doing. Right? Like
within rules.
Within rules. Or trying to work within the frames of a game simulating reality, simulating a world of fantasy with magic, right? So I always fall back. Yeah, magic. I always fall back on. So you're telling me the dragon can't grab the gnome because of the rules, but that gnome can shoot laser beams out. Well, carry away. Can't carry away. Drop. Yeah. Can't carry away a gnome, but that same gnome could shoot laser beams out of his eyes at the dragon, and all that's cool. Like at a certain point, you have to like look at what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just and also making a specific character to do something that go, like I said, it doesn't necessarily break the rules, but it's doing something unique that the rules really don't cover. Then be like, hey, DM, here's the idea I'm thinking. Would you allow this instead of like dealing with it at level 5 when you start like suplexing dragons?
Yeah, and then also like I'm gonna say
that'd be dope though.
That's pretty awesome. Like also like here's the thing, right? So we played the playtest, right? And the playtest rules are similar to the current rules, but vastly different, right? So at no point in time did I don't think no one who in Paizo was just like, I'm gonna make a monk, but this monk's gonna literally just pick people up, jump, and then drop them. Like there is a rule that says, yeah, like no one really sat there and was like, let's do this.
I did,
but then you have people like us who are trying to come up with interesting characters to sit at a table when you're playing with your friends, and then say like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like this character is a luchador, and I'm just gonna reskin Fabio's character Sonic and call him El Fasto, and
El Fasto.
And
not
then,
to be confused with El Fisto.
No, don't.
That's another monk that I have.
you don't want El Fisto.
You don't want to deal with El Fisto.
And then he's a luchador, and that's the whole character concept. If it still fits in Fabio's gladiator background, and I just want to fucking make him do luchador moves, grabbing someone and throwing them off of a high, thing fits within that. Like that'd be like if Steve, you built your character about pushing, and there's an open window, and you're like, I'm gonna push him out the window. I'm like, no, the rules don't allow that. And you'd be like,
push him into the wall. He can hit the window. Takes an extra D6, but I want him to go out the window.
Like, no. You'd look at me and be like, I built my entire character around pushing. You telling me no?
Out of windows, specifically.
Specifically windows.
I get a bonus for pushing people out of windows. The feat I took.
It's you don't know that feat?
I was unaware.
You gotta look, B.
Yeah. Also, like, a real talk, as a DM and a player, I have a lot of things. Like, we all have real life stuff, right? That we have work, we have family, we have other obligations, editing, bullshit conversations. Learning all the rules and then understanding them to a great success, unless you're getting paid, not just oh, hey, give us $1 for coffee and now Patreon, but you're getting paid salary, 70, 80 grand a year. I'm going to say work with your players. As a DM, work with your players. If I'm coming to your table and my job is to, I know there are people out there whose job it is to DM, right? But that's their job. So then have a different conversation. But if you're just fucking around with your friends, do whatever, man. Well within rules. Do whatever within the rules. Don't start level 1 and be like, all right, everyone can fucking shoot laser beams every time they sneeze. Every time you hard sneeze, just eye beams. Heat vision.
Making my next cast all about
everyone's just walking with itching powder.
Spells.
There you go.
No, but there was something that you said to me years ago, and I've adopted that is make it make sense.
Yeah, just make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I feel like most DMs that are sent, if you make it make sense, they'll work with you.
So at level 5, a couple of things that I took. Well, up to level 5. I took Assurance Athletics, which is just going to help out because if I'm attacking and I want to just grab or push or trip somebody, and I've already made a couple of attacks, I could then just throw in Athletics Assurance, and I could just negate all that multi-attack penalty that I've accrued for the turn, just because, we don't like negatives.
Nope.
We don't like negatives.
Also, a second level, I took Aggressive Block.
Yeah, so Aggressive Block is a free action.
Yes. So
you push back as you block the attack, knocking your foe away or off balance. You can use your shield to push the triggering creature, either automatically shoving it 5 feet or causing it to become flat-footed until the start of your next turn. Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah.
The triggering creature chooses whether to be moved or become flat-footed. If it chooses to be moved, you can choose the direction. So I'm believing.
So the monster's choosing.
The monster
chooses
the direction.
Is choosing to either be flat-footed or to be moved, and if they're being moved, I get to pick where they move to.
Okay, and again, if there is no way for it to move, it has to become flat-footed. Yeah. So you use and this is bouncing off of shield block. Wow,
yeah.
Wow.
So I'm already getting a free shield block without having to raise shield.
Yeah.
And when you hit me, I'm pulling my shield and I go bonk, and I just push it back. Or you're flat-footed, which means the next turn I'm gonna open you up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or if you have a rogue in the party or a monk,
yeah,
those flurry of blows will just land even harder.
Turn the flurry of no's. No, 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 no.
Yeah, they're taking that -2 to AC. That sucks.
Taking fleet just because it's a solid feat to take.
Yeah, to keep up with Sonic.
Yeah. And here's the feat that I was taking at level 4, taking powerful shove, which lets me push larger foes than normal. So normally, even though I took Titan
Grappler.
Grappler, I was like, even though I took Titan Grappler, that only affects when I try to use actions on other monsters. It doesn't affect the shield. It has to affect something of my size or smaller. Powerful shove lets me get the same benefit. So it lets me push larger people up to 2 size categories bigger. So if a troll walks up and tries to hit me, I can push him back too.
Damn, son. Yo, Steve's playing no games. He's fucking Captain America up in here.
Back.
Just gonna hit someone and be like screaming, "Stars and Stripes!"
Yep.
He starts the stripes.
Get in here. Shield smash.
So I'll say this at the end again, but just so everyone knows, if you're part of our Patreon group, you get these character sheets. So you'll get the full sheet, totally typed out, with everything on there. So you could just print it out and play.
So also at 5th level, just as a 5th level fighter, you get fighter weapon mastery. You pick a weapon type. So I pick club, and you get obviously your to hit goes to mastery, and you get the critical specialization effect of whatever class of weapon that is. And for club, I think that you just get an extra 5 feet, or you can knock people prone.
Ooh.
Oh, so yeah, club is you knock a target away from. If I crit with the club, you knock the target away from you up to 10 feet. I could do up to 10 feet. I could choose 5 feet to 10 feet, and this is considered force movement. So.
Oh, nice. How do I send this in the chat?
So it was another weapon that had the knocked prone. I think it was Maul's knocked prone, but they didn't push back.
You're like,
so you're just knocking people.
Yeah, if I wanted to deal with a different weapon, but those weapons didn't have the shove trait, and I figured more movement is kind of the focus. So. And since I'm having a higher to hit, I had a higher chance of hitting, plus I'm potentially making people flat-footed, which gives me, it's lowering AC, so my chance to crit is pretty high.
It's fairly high at that point. Right.
So yeah, that's all the things that I took that mean something.
Okay, and I'm assuming your role in combat would be again
the front meat shield.
Yeah, your role within the team dynamic would be front meat shield, just.
And also to be able to relocate people into flanking positions, to relocate people into, or move an enemy outside. So an enemy that's flanking one of my friendlies, I can then move them out so they don't get the benefits, stuff like that.
So I feel like your character would really benefit from like a small amount of terrain figurines. Because like. It's like if you have a board, you could probably see it, your character, like what you want to do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Obviously, Theater of the Mind is 100%, or playing with pennies, nickels, and dimes like we used to, works equally as good. So you don't have to have like a full, like by no means am I saying like go out and buy like this whole crazy new setup, and buy all those tiles and terrains and stuff. Like you could just use like a bunch of nickels and dimes and a whiteboard.
You heard it here first. You got to buy $10,000 worth of terrain and minis.
Yeah, before you play any kind of Pathfinder, $10,000 bare minimum.
All the monies, or else you can't throw people. You just can't.
You just can't throw people. Yep, that's their buy-in amount.
Fuck out of here!
Fuck out of here! Well, you thought this was a game? Clearly, you did not. You came to the wrong house.
This ain't Chuck E. Cheese, bitch. Real physics. Real time.
Just all of it.
Yeah. To level 8?
Yep. So we're moving up to level 8. What does the class look like now? Important stuff that you would like to share. Like like I said, Fabio mentioned he took a rogue dedication that also gave him a free feat at level 2. You, like Steve, you took the Banuat heritage for that wave touch so that you could swim instead of just sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then what would your role in combat at this point be? Does it change a little bit more, or are you now more focused like Fabio? I could see maybe like your character's more focused on maybe maneuvering around the field on top of just being able to fucking marathon run in like 15 seconds. Just like literally do a marathon 26 point something miles just in about 30 seconds. Just like, yeah, I'm out just Usain Bolting it.
Usain Bolting.
So good.
Yeah. I feel like if you're running that fast, it should just be a sonic boom.
I mean, his name is Sonic. Just say it. Just say it.
So we'll start with Fabio again. Fabio at level 8. Who is Sonic at this point?
At this point, Sonic's gonna be in my mind, I see him kind of like the Flash. Right? Mm-hmm. So like he's quick, but it's not the Flash that was actually smart and worked in, the police office or had any type of forensic knowledge. No, this is just the fast Flash that talks quick, has jokes. What was on the Justice League when they were in
Wally?
What was that? Yeah, just all jokes.
Just jokes.
So he's jokes. He has points in performance. He has points in diplomacy. He's just going to be about jokey joke, right? But when it comes down to business of getting in and getting out, he's going to be that guy. He's going to be the person that's like wrangling people that are like far away, like, oh, the caster in the back that's screwing up everybody that's clustered here. He'll be the first person to get to them and whap them up with a few haymakers and punches to the head. Concuss them a little bit. It's hard to say abracadabra when you can't figure out where you live.
Just hit someone hard enough, give them a stutter. Just abba.
All I have, right in the head. But man, I forgot math. That's it. So that's his whole point. And I took a lot of like little feats here and there to help it so people that would get benefits like attacks of opportunities or anything like that, I can avoid that. So I'm gonna go backwards.
Yeah.
So at level 8, it was a really hard choice for me. Like there was some really cool monk stuff that I really wanted to take and like tweak around with that were just going with the whole like theme. But sometimes you also have to take that moment to say, you know what, my character needs a little bit of defense. My character needs like a couple of things that like will aid him in scenarios that you may not always see. May happen. So I went down the rogue tree. I took the basic trickery. I took mobility. And what mobility did is like when you take the stride action, move half your speed or less, that move doesn't trigger reactions. So like I don't get attacks of opportunities when I'm moving half speed. Now here's the thing: I'm in a fight and like I'm looking at like super hopped up hobgoblin that's got like a pike in his hand. I know it may be metagaming at that point, but at the same time, like I know me sprinting immediately out of here unless it's like part of something that I'm doing at that moment. He might move, half his speed, which at level 8, his full speed is 45.
Yeah.
So I'm at least moving 20 feet away from him without, incurring an attack of opportunity at that point. I'm like, all right, now I'm out, now it's gone. And if I did, the key rush, it's more than that, or it's like, I'm out, I'm just gone at that point. So that's what I took at level 8. And I also took quick climber. Walls, things I have to get up, quick trees, anything obstacles. It just makes it so like it's that much easier for me to just get over things, right? And it's just I don't have to worry about like, oh, you ran up this wall, there's a ladder. Your speed doesn't work towards ladders, does it? No, but now it kind of does.
Now it does a little bit, yeah.
Before that, I took at level 7. I took Path of Perfection as reflex. Just makes sense. The general feat I took was wall jump. Now, when I saw wall jump, it immediately sung to my soul, and I had a moment of, so what you're telling me is I can jump off walls? And I was just like, oh, this is gonna be dope. So I just took that. So like, oh, there is a wall, and I'm gonna jump off that wall and just go higher. I'm gonna jump off that wall and just go farther. Just makes it so every piece of terrain, is now at like my beck and call of like, I can just abuse the shit out of this. Right. Before that, level 7 at level 6, I took one thing partly for a character in RPing, which was juggle. Right.
Okay.
And I also took the class feat water step. So just there's water in my way. Like, oh, there's a river. How will you guys traverse the river? How far is the river? The river is, how far can Fabio jump? 45. It is 56 feet. I run across it. How? I have water. I run across the water. And I just keep running. You know what? I don't want to cross. I run directly in the middle of the river. Then I run a zigzag to the right. And then I go over for spite and to make myself feel better. Just because I can. Right? Shit like that makes me happy. And the whole juggle thing is, even though you can use it in combat, you can just start juggling and you can just take out items. In my mind, like if I did need something and I had stuff in my hand, it made sense that like he'd be like quickly throwing things up in the air, moving things around, taking things out, catching things. It just all that kind of worked together.
Sense. Yeah,
it made sense. And it makes so he's fast with his hands, he's fast with his feet, like he's just out there, he's in the mix, he's fast with his mouth. But like I just like the idea of everything he does is just at full speed.
Yeah. At this point, you're level 8. Steve, where is Mr. Pushy McGee over here? What are you doing?
So one of the main feats that I eventually started taking is intimidating prowess, which means that as the higher my strength is, the higher bonus I have to intimidate.
Oh.
And then which couples along with terrified retreat.
What's terrified retreat do? Am I scared?
Sure
I believe.
Oh no, I took it at 10th level. I'm sorry.
Oh, boo.
So yeah, so I did take intimidating prowess. You can take that earlier. Yeah, this is you have to be expert intimidation and have a strength of 16. You get a +1, and if your strength is 20 or higher, you get a +2. So that's the benefit.
Yeah.
So that's technically, like I said, that's a level 2 feat, but I just really couldn't fit it in the early game. And really, the reason I was taking it is for the level 7 feat, but based on the feat's orientation, I couldn't take it then, so I had to like maneuver around. So yeah, so I took intimidating prowess so I could just scare people, just because he's a scary guy. So level 6, yet again, you said, oh man, he doesn't have a reflex save. Well, here's where reflective shield comes in. So I could take reflexive shield to increase my reflex save based on what shield I'm wearing.
What?
Yeah. It's you can use your shield to fend off the worst of area effects and other damage. When you raise your shield, you gain the shield circumstance bonus to reflex saves.
Oh my god!
If you have the shield reaction, damage you take as a result of the reflex save can trigger the reaction, even if it isn't physical damage. So yeah, it's like, oh man, that fear, whomp, and you just raise that shield and it just bounces that shit right off.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
in awesome. My mind, I imagine is like, if I can't see them, they can't see me. If I can't see them, they can't see me. All right, I'm good.
At level 8, it gets even more disgusting because level 8 gives me another shield block reaction.
So now you have 2.
Yeah.
You have those shield block reactions.
It's dirty.
That's real dirty.
And I took Quick Climber. Why not?
The two of you climbing fast.
And wall jump, because why not?
You both
why
wall
not?
jump? Oh my god.
Because yo,
it's nothing else that was good. I think
I don't want to see Tin Can Steve jumping
like,
off a wall.
You know what it's like? What was that game with like Arthur, Ghouls and Goblins?
Ghouls and
when
Goblins.
He was just imagine seeing the full armor, kink kink, just double jumping off walls, kink kink. I'm out. Move out my way.
I will say that is the one. I don't want to say shortcoming, but I think they went light on the skill feats for a reason, and I think they felt they made enough changes to the game that they were a little bit on the conservative side to say, oh man, if we had too many of these things, we're really going to break the game. It's going to be hard to balance. So I have a funny feeling that a lot of the extra books that are going to start rolling out are going to have a lot more skill feats and things you could do with the basic skills.
Oh, definitely. So in the APs, they release a lot of skill feats that are usually like juggle was tied to Extinction Curse, but that is a feat that like you can now pick up. I guess we will move up to level 10. So level 10 is where we normally stop. So you've reached level 10. Your character is dope as shit now. So what do you look like? Rolling combat and RP, but also what magic items would you have been looking for at this point, even coming up what would you have wanted if let's say you were in town and there was like a magic, Tim the Enchanter was selling his wares. What magic items would you be taking? So we'll start with, changing things up. We'll start with Fabio. So Fabio, we're level 10. We've made it.
Hey,
only shattering your elbow a few times trying to suplex Ghost.
It needed to happen. That's it. Right. So between 8 and 10, only a couple of things changed. The ancestry feat, like I had a couple of like weird choices that I was gonna make, and I was really contemplating, talented or going and picking up more things from like Rogue, and I was like, you know what? I saw one thing, and it was like a tweak.
Okay.
Right, and it was the idea of Aeromancer, which you can cast 4th level Fly on yourself as an innate arcane spell once per day. Right now, in your mind, you're like, oh, why the fuck would I do that? Like there's so many other things that you could take besides flying. There was even like a cool thing like that I really wanted, but I was like, you know what? Nah, because there's gonna be that moment where I can't run there for some reason, and I can't jump there for whatever reason. When that happens, I fly. So Sonic just runs, and he just takes off the ground like a plane on a runway, just into the sky, and then hard banks left, and then does a U-turn. It comes back at the person with the fist out, and they're like, "Why is this man running on the sky?" Problems. Problems are afoot. Decisions have been made that are all bad, right?
Yeah, point. You fucked up.
What item is
like,
this?
It's not an ancestry feat.
Oh, it's an ancestry feat. Okay.
Yeah. So it has like ethnicity requirements, stuff like that. But like in my mind, it's one of those things that I can easily like tweak into the story in a couple years just to make it level 9. But with the whole thing with like Aeromancers, like your ancestors have from flying cities, and a few simple tricks have come down through the ages to you. You cast 4th level Fly on yourself as an innate arcane spell once per day. Right? And I saw that and I said, he can fly. Fuck it. He can fucking fly. Because what other way to get there than running through the fucking sky? That's fun for me. And then the last one was really hard because I really wanted to take wind jump. Right? Because I feel like it's dope. And I feel like that's something like I'm alternating between what I took. What I took was wall run. Buy walls, buy certain things. A lot of games we play are dungeon crawlers. A lot of them happen inside fortresses. A lot of them happen, sometimes underground. Or sometimes you're in like a dark elf city or some crazy shit, or like you're in like this crazy maze or like huge castle. There's walls and there's a pit. I'm gonna run off the fucking walls. I'm kicking off walls and then I'm running down them. In my mind, it's like, what was it? Not in Aladdin or in Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia, that's the game.
Right? Yep. Whereas like you just have the ability to run off the wall. Something about that. Now I can Sonic run off this wall, or fly off this wall or kick off this wall. I don't have to worry about walls.
Yeah.
So item wise, super quick. I know there's a boots of springing and striding.
Yeah.
Or they have something like that. Always need something like, hey, gives me more movement or any other movement. I know there's a bracelet or something like that increases your speed. I'd look for that. Also, just anything with like spider climb too, just in case, just to be an asshole. Like now I'm just sprinting on the ceiling because I can. Right, and consumables, the highest level cheetah potions that I can get all the time.
Cheetah potions. I thought you said cheater potions.
Cheater potions.
It's the same thing.
Cheetah. Because I want more speed.
Yeah.
Right, and cheetah gives you more speed. So those are like just quick items that I was thinking about, that I would want my character to have. And at this point, it's just nothing can stop him. Not land, not sea, not air. Sonic's gonna get there.
Sonic's he's just out.
That's it.
That is upsetting.
At this point, my run speed, it's still 45, but we can tweak that up.
I don't even know how to handle a character that can not only just fly when they want, but can just handle any split. Like at this point at level 10, I feel like your DM's just throwing their hand up in the air. Just I got nothing. What do you mean? I don't know, man. Fucking dragons. 100 million dragons come. What do you mean 100 million? They're just all of them. They're mad at you.
I'm like, I'd outrun them.
Yeah.
I outrun them. It's like, how fast do they fly? 60? I'm out. I'm going. Fuck that noise. I'm running 90. Come get me.
Yeah. I'm not going to be here anymore. What do you mean? I'm leaving forever. I will see you guys later.
He runs so fast he tears a dimensional portal and just goes to another dimension.
Down. Now I'm in 5 edition. 5e like, oh, how the fuck did I...
Everything got a little fuzzy.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, you have your Boots of Elvenkind. That would work greater for you. You know, you get your +1 bonus to acrobatics. When you activate them once an hour, you ignore difficult terrain, and if you're wearing the cloak, you get a +5 foot status bonus to your land speed until the end of turn. So it makes you faster if you have the cloak. Both of those are not super easy to come by, but they're fairly easy to come by.
I like Boots of Elvenkind. There was another one. Where is it? The Bracelets of Speed or Bracelets of Dash? Bracelets of Dashing. This jangling silver bracelet gives you a lighter, makes you lighter on your feet, and giving her +1 item bonus to acrobatics checks. But it also gives you like the once per day. And the reason why I was just like about it because it's once per day. You get a +10 foot status bonus to speed for 1 minute. So that's that one fight where you're like, you know what? I need to move 55 because, you know, why the fuck not?
Reasons.
Yeah, all the reasons. All the reasons.
Because I want to.
Right. And then Boots of Elvenkind is like, yo, you know, if I have all those, like, yo, if I need to move, I'm out. So Boots of Elvenkind, the Cloak of Elvenkind, the Bracelets of Dashing, you know, those are all things that like my character would definitely try and hoard and take and be like, can I have that, please?
Let me get that real quick.
Yeah.
And those cheater potions, that's gonna make you even go faster.
Oh, absolutely. So the whole idea with the cheetah potions, let me double check it because I had it.
You gain a bonus to your speed. So the lesser is +5 for 1 minute. So, you know, that's moderate is +10 for 10 minutes. And then like at level 10, you're probably using the moderate to even the greater. So that's 10 minutes or an hour.
So like in my mind, I'm looking more so like 5 because like, all right, we're in a fight. That's all I really need. I need it for like a minute. Like, yo, we're about to do some craziness. If I have a greater elixir, cheetah elixir, all right, 55.
I'll see you later. Yeah, peace. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty obnoxious character. Just putting it out there.
I knew you'd love it. You guys now get a quick peek of like all this bullshit that I put Jared through, right? when the character was like, all right, so this is what I want to do. No, Fabio, but I'm gonna make it. No, Fabio. All right, but let me just say this one thing. All right, fine. Say this one thing, and then it's 3 hours later. Okay, so how are you on the ceiling?
Yep, every time. Every time.
I don't
understand
how you did this.
Take out the protractor.
Yep.
No, but honestly, again, this character mostly built around legal stuff. There's the few ethnicity stuff, but on top of that, moving over to Steve. So we're now level 10. Yep. What are you looking at?
So going back to the 2 feats. So at level 9, I eventually did take my ancestry feat was multi-talented. There wasn't really anything else that screamed out to me to say, hey, you can take this. So I was like, okay, let me look at some of the dedications. And I picked Alchemist.
Okay.
And when looking in Alchemist, is one of the also the other reasons I was pumping intelligence. The entire every 5 levels, I was putting points into intelligence because to just get extra skills, but also to get that
for the crafting.
Yeah, for the crafting, I think at some point I already took crafting, but to get the mutagen.
Yep.
And I just took some cheat elixir, beast mutagen, eagle eye, elixir of life, just because it's, self-healing is always good. Juggernaut, silver tongue, because I am using charisma on occasion, Tanglefoot to mess with people's movement. So it just kind of rounds out the character and gives me a couple other things I can do and chuck around, even though that. And I didn't go too many bombs just because with my decks, I didn't pick a high deck, so I just take a whole bunch of things I can drink on my own.
Yeah.
Then comes in the Terrified Retreat. This is the big one for Intimidation. There we go. Master Intimidation, which at this point I am. When I critically succeeded to demoralize, if the target's low level than me, they flee for 1 round. So they just outright run away. So then, yet again, it's controlling movement. Now I can just eliminate, for at least a round, eliminate a character from the battle. So that's where all the pluses for Intimidate start coming in and becoming to matter. Also at 10th level, I picked up Fearsome Brute as my fighter feat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so that goes to things like you gain a circumstance bonus to damage rolls when I attack frightened creatures.
Oh, so that dude that's running away will activate your AoE, your attack of opportunity. Sorry.
Yeah, so then
you'll get that bonus to hit them.
Yep. And the bonus is double the target's frightened value. So whatever their frightened value is double that. So also we have other people in the party, frightening people, or upping that frightened level. Like, okay, you have frightened 2 or frightened 3, then I fear you. Oh, whap. And I still have a shield block in the bank.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, you do. You would have played with our characters.
I found 4 wearable items and 2 consumables. So we'll go to the consumables first. One of them is Iron Medallion. You either have to have master in your will save, or you have the bravery feature, which I have the bravery feature. You fail a will save, you can expend it, and you just re-roll the will save.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you get a bonus. So a small medallion, when you activate it, you gain a +2 bonus to saves versus fear for 1 minute. On the triggering save, outcome is a failure, you get a success instead. So ups it by 1, which is always good. And then Potion of Quickness, I get haste for 1 minute, just because a fighter hasted is going to be awesome.
Get those 4 actions.
The 3 items of note, the wearable items of note that I would I'll take Ring of the Ram.
Of course.
Just let you spend up to 3 actions, and for every action you spend, you increase the amount of damage that the ring does, and it just pushes people back 60 feet. Boots of Bounding, which just increases your speed by 10 feet, and your high and long jump bonus, you get a +3 bonus when you're trying to do high and long jumps. And then the best one is the Greater Demon Mask. So I get a +2 bonus on intimidation checks, and then once per day, I cast Fear with a DC 29.
Wow.
And then, you ran away. Boom! Just hit him.
Wow. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that mask would look like, in my head, it would look like one of those,
Oni masks from
the
Japan.
Oni mask
So
things.
I have to be in samurai armor. So this is allowed to be like the perfect character for me.
We know what happens if Balin goes down.
This character coming.
I
start pushing giants and shit. Like, come on.
Well, you remind me of someone, Mr. McGee.
So if you weren't building, obviously we're working in the confines of using movement. The concept was movement. In this, you guys took it in 2 different directions. Fabio took it as actual movement, and Steve took it as moving and
stopping
movement, or using his abilities to push and shove and kind of contain the battlefield to his liking. If you weren't gonna go these routes, let's say caster, right? Like no one built a sorcerer or anything like that. Was there a reason why you guys just didn't feel comfortable using magic? I know Fabio hates magic, but like besides that,
I tried using or looking into magic as a way of controlling the battlefield. I had a hard time finding a lot of different spells. And I'm not saying that there aren't there, but I was hard pressed to find a lot of variety in being able to control. I guess in that way you could kind of take both ideas together and have some spells that boost your or your friend's movement, and then other spells like Black Tentacles is probably going to be restricting other people's movement. Yeah. But I was just trying, like, in my head, I was trying to focus on the one idea of controlling other people's movement, because that was kind of my take on it. And finding a lot of spells that lined up with that idea was a little difficult. So, laser focusing on the one concept was hard.
My main issue with like casters and stuff like that is just that the reason why I don't like magic is I feel that even in like other games where it's like action economy is like weird, whereas or shorter, like I'm spending a lot of energy into a finite resource, and that's always bothered me. And it's part of the reason why like I'm one of those people that hoards, right? So you give me items, you give me trinkets. If you look in my bag, there's often times where like I'll be like encumbered to be like, why? It's because of shit I didn't throw out or shit I didn't get rid of. So we go into time like, I just dropped this at the store. I give all of my goblin ears away. I give away this sword that I found, this shield that I picked up, this random shit. I know that I do the same thing with my spells. If I can just cantrip it away, I'm going to cantrip it away. So trying to find things that were like assisting movement. The alchemist helped with it a lot. The sorcerers with it with certain spells as well. I like Expeditious Retreat. I like there's a druid and sorcerer feat that gives you like increased speed.
Longstrider.
Longstrider, there we go.
Yeah, spell.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like Longstrider. I like the idea of it, right? So like anything that could affect me, but I felt like it was like short bursts, right? And these are like spells that I lose back. Versus with the monk, yeah, I get the key point, once, but it's like, okay, I'm not worried too much about it because it's like, 10-minute nap. We're walking around for 10 minutes. We're hanging out for 10 minutes. We're investigating something for 10 minutes. Boop, I got my key point back. I really need to sprint in the next fight. I should theoretically happen unless we have like one fight and then 7 minutes and 50 seconds later, we're in another fight.
Well, yeah, clearly I'm going to start taking time like that.
All right. That's why Aratari has none of those. He just shoots. Right?
Yep.
No. But no, like things like that is like one of the main reasons why I didn't go into like anything magical. It was more so just I couldn't find enough spells that lasted long enough where it made me fast continually, as opposed to short bursts that don't always stack. And that's another thing. Like Pathfinder Second Edition is really good at making sure like, oh, you got this item bonus. All right, the highest item bonus you're getting. Right, unless it's like another status bonus or a circumstance bonus or another, they ain't stacking. So like keeping them in that vein made it so like, all right, I can only have one of these. So but at least with the monk, I boost my speed all the way up to like 45, 50. Add a couple other things. I'm not like 55, 65, right? And then I'm like, all right, fine. Now I'll use my key and I can just double up.
So closing statements. We'll start with Steve. We'll actually change it up. Steve, anything you would like to put in? Say goodbye.
No, it's interesting how we had this base concept of movement and how my concept and Fabio's concept was just like completely opposite. But then we also took very similar feats at the same time, which is kind of fun.
Ironic.
So yeah, so it's Pathfinder Second Edition. Even though it's slightly more simple than First Edition, you get the variety. There are choices you can make, and the choices do matter.
And Fabio, closing statements, thoughts, goodbyes.
I would say I had a lot of fun making this character. I also had a lot of fun listening to Steve's character. If there's ever an offshoot, or crazy shit happens, I definitely hope that we go on adventures together. I hope this wasn't, just a smash and dash type of thing. I really do hope that we get to see, Sonic and shoves McGee over here out in actual combat, actual play at least some point or another. I agree with Steve. I had a fantastic time. Like, we both took it in completely different directions, but it was a lot of fun for like people that actually want to do crazy zany shits like sprint fast or like really tactical things in controlling the battlefield. You know, I love those options because it speaks to two different styles of play that a lot of people sometimes think but don't exactly know how to execute. Right. And I feel like that's one of the funnest parts of like actually playing any type of tabletop game is like, how the hell can I put this crazy thought that I have in my head in a character and making that thing work? So, you know, like I want to say thanks to Steve, thanks to Jared, thanks to our listeners for, you know, for allowing us to like play these games and come up with crazy bullshit, you know, for you guys to play and also see us make.
And with that, we are nothing ventured, nothing gained, rolling dice, giving advice with a little New York spice. Bye, everyone.
See y'all later.